Hello everyone and welcome back to Blockbuster Reviews. Today's book is a self-help book from the personal finance category and it's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T Harv Eker. Now I know what this looks like. You're probably thinking, hearing the title of the book, that this is just another one-off-the-mill self-help book that teaches you how to be an overnight millionaire, and I understand your concern. But this is actually quite a good book. In fact, it has been rated right up there amongst the New York Times international bestsellers. Here's a book in numbers. The number of pages is 194. The price on Amazon is $17, which is a bit pricey. Level of understanding needed to understand the book is beginner. And the value for money is about 88%. Time required to finish the book, 1 or 2 sittings only. A little bit about the author. T Harv Eker doesn't have a very impressive business profile. Growing up, he did some sales jobs, and ultimately it was this book that brought him the real fame and wealth. After this book became a success, he became a sought-after financial guru and motivational speaker, and that's how he made most of his present net worth of $20 million. T Harv Eker is famously known for his statements, "Give me 5 minutes and I'll predict your financial future for the rest of your life." And we'll see why he says that. At the heart of this book is the philosophy that everything in the world has a blueprint. And just by looking at the blueprint of, say, an architecture, you can tell a lot, if not everything, about the architecture. So too, you have what Eker calls a financial blueprint. Just by looking at this financial blueprint, you can tell whether the person is geared towards financial success or not. Eker has posed 17 points that collectively form a person's financial blueprint. Before we get on to looking at those 17 points, let us first visit an important point Eker makes in the book. According to him, we have what he calls a financial thermostat. Just as a regular thermostat regulates temperature around it, so too, whatever we have set our financial thermostat to, it keeps regulating the atmosphere around it according to what it has been programmed to do. So if you've programmed your mind to be a billionaire, then no matter what is happening in your life, you'll end up becoming a billionaire. But consequently, if you've programmed yourself to remain poor, then no matter how many opportunities you'll get, you'll end up becoming a failure. The 17 points just mentioned tell us a lot about what we have set our financial thermostat to. Let's take a look at the famous 17 points. Eker calls these 17 points the wealth files, and each one shows how a rich person thinks differently from a poor person. Wealth file number 1. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me, which means that the rich actively pursue wealth, whereas the poor lie in wait for something good to happen to them. Wealth file number 2. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. There is a subtle difference. When you actively do something, it gives you different results than having a passive attitude towards it. Wealth file number 3. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. When you're determined, you become rich. But in the absence of that focus, it's not a goal, but rather only daydreaming. Wealth file number 4. Rich people think big. Poor people think small. This principle states that you can't have more than you want to receive, because if you do, you'll end up wasting it all. Wealth file number 5. Rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. This is really just the difference between a positive mindset versus a negative one. Wealth file number 6. Rich people admire other rich people and other successful people. Poor people resent rich and successful people. Well, you are, at the end of the day, who you look up to. Wealth file number 7. Rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Your company influences your thinking, your behavior, and therefore your life. Wealth file number 8. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people think negatively about selling and promotion. Rich people are experts in marketing and selling themselves. Poor people just don't bother with it. Wealth file number 9. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. Rich people don't let their problems tear them down. They come out at the other end ever stronger. Poor people, on the other hand, are torn down by their problems. Wealth file number 10. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. If you're not open to receiving blessings, you reject opportunities and help from others that could help you make rich. Wealth file number 11. Rich people choose to get paid based on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on time. The bottom line is all that matters. Time only has value if it converts into results. Rich people look at the results, poor people look at how much time they've given to something. Wealth file number 12. Rich people think both, poor people think either or. Why do you have to choose between your arm and your leg? Why can't you have both? Wealth file number 11. Rich people focus on their net worth, poor people focus on their working income. How much you have is different from how much you make. You could make a lot, but at the end of the day, you may have nothing. Rich people save, people don't. Poor people don't. Wealth file number 14. Rich people manage their money well, poor people mismanage their money well. Just making money is not the only thing. Learning how to manage and keep your money is an equally, if not more important skill that all the rich people have and hardly any poor people have. Wealth file number 15. Rich people have their money work hard for them. Poor people work hard for their money. This means that rich people make passive investments that work day in and day out to put money into their pockets, while the poor people have themselves working day in and day out. Wealth file number 16. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. Climbing the mountain of financial success can be very scary, but the rich are so determined that they confront their fears in that process. The poor, due to the lack of ambition, let fear tear them apart. Wealth file number 17. Rich people constantly learn and grow. Poor people think that they already know everything. Being open to learning is a key point. It is said leaders are readers. Poor people don't feel they need to learn, and therefore they never grow. Verdict. The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is actually a very good book. It's very concise, to the point, very relevant, and based on the hard truth. I highly recommend reading this book, even though the author's profile is quite unimpressive. He didn't really do anything noteworthy in the business world, but somehow this book is quite on spot. I give this book a solid 8.8 out of 10 and a thumbs up. Well, that's it for this time's review. Thank you very much, and we'll join you next time with another review. Thank you very much for joining us.